Welcome to Math Matra. Today in this video, we will talk about solving for x for the equation 2 to the power of 2x plus 32 equals to 12 times 2 to the power of x without using calculator. So if you want to give it a try, pause the video, give it a try, and then continue watching the video. And for those who wants to continue watching the video for solution for x, without further ado, let's get started. So in order to solve for x on the equation 2 to the power of 2x plus 32 equals to 12 times 2 to the power of x, let's first understand the mathematical equation a to the power of b times n is actually equal to a to the power of b to the power of n, or it can also be written as a to the power of n to the power of b, right? So with that, let's start to rearrange the first term in the equation. So let's rewrite the first term as 2 to the power of x to the power of 2, which is square of 2 to the power of x, plus 32 plus 12 is equal to 12 times 2 to the power of x. Now, as you can see in this equation, the reason why we did that is we can common out 2 to the power of x and assign that as a separate variable and make the entire equation as a quadratic equation. And then pretty quickly we can solve the quadratic equation, and then we can go back and back shoot the number for 2 to the power of x with the solution that we get for the quadratic equation, right? So let's assume 2 to the power of x is equal to y. So let's substitute 2 to the power of x with y in this equation. So the first term then will become y square plus 32 is equal to 12 times y. So let's move all the unknowns on the one side of the equation. So that will then become y square minus 12y plus 32 is equal to 0. Now we have one equation, it's a quadratic equation, and one unknown. So we can definitely solve this equation without needing any further help. So how do we go about that? Well, the y square suggests there are two solutions for this equation because it's the power of 2, right? So quadratic equation with the order of degree of 2 means there are two solutions to that. So let's find both solution. So how do we go about that? Well, the multiplication of two solution has to be equal to 32, and the addition of those two should be negative 12. So let's start with 32 and let's find all the multiple of 32. So we can divide by 2, get 16. Another time we can divide by 2, get 8, and we can keep on going until we get 1. So essentially 32 is nothing but 2 to the power of 5, 2 raised to 5. So now let's find two solutions, break this into two pieces such that the addition of those two essentially becomes negative 12 or 12, and then we can change the sign to negative, right? So 2 times 2, let's put that in one bucket, and 2 times 2 times 2, let's put that in the other bucket and see if that works. So 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So 8 plus 4 is 12. So that works. So 8 times 4 is 32, and 8 plus 4 is 12. So that works. So let's go and rearrange this 12y in two pieces as 4y and 8y. Now don't forget the entire sign is negative, so it works. We need to change it to negative 4y with negative 8y. So addition of those two essentially remains negative 12y, and the multiplication of negative 8 and negative 4 is actually positive 32, right? So y square minus 4y minus 8y plus 32 is equal to 0. So now let's look at the first two terms, y square minus 4y. We can common out y in that equation, right? And let's look at the other two terms, and negative 8y plus 32. We can common out negative 8 because 32 is multiple of 8, right? So let's try to take the y common out in the first two terms. So y in parenthesis will have y minus 4 close parenthesis minus now we take the minus 8 out. So minus 8 in parentheses will remain y minus 4, because 8 4s are 32 and negative common out, so we have to put negative inside. So essentially when we break the bracket, take the negative 8 inside, negative 8 minus negative 4 remains positive 32. So y minus 4. So now look at this equation, y times y minus 4 minus 8 times y minus 4, right? So we can take the y minus 4 out, and then whatever remains will essentially go into the second bracket, right? So y minus 4 times y minus 8 is equal to 0. So that essentially will give us the two solutions. Why? Because we are saying one term multiplied by second term is equal to 0. So the only way that makes sense is one of the term is 0. So y minus 4 has to be 0 or y minus 8 has to be 0. That's the only way that will solve for itself. Because in mathematics, if you multiply two numbers and you get 0, the only way you can do it is at least one of those numbers has to be 0. So either y minus 4 is 0 or y minus 8 is 0. So y minus 4 0 will give us y is equal to 4, and y minus 8 equal to 0 will give us y equal to 8. So now as we know, that is the solution for y. Well, what we are looking for is solution for x, right? So if you recall, we assumed 2 to the power of x is equal to y, right? So let's substitute value of y into 2 to the power of x on each side. So 2 to the power of x is either is equal to 4 or 2 to the power of x is equal to 8. So now if you look at that, it's pretty simple, right? 2 square is 4 and 2 cube is 8, right? So x is either 2 or x is either 3. Simple, isn't it? So that simple, isn't it? So that is essentially the solution for 2 to the power of 2x plus 32 is equal to 12 times 2 to the power of x, without using calculator, using the equations from quadratic and solving how we can convert this first equation into quadratic equation and then solving for quadratic equation. Let's quickly check if these two solutions really works. The way we check it is we put these values back into the main equation, what we were trying to solve x for, and then see if it adds up. So let's start. By plugging x is equal to 2 in this entire equation. So 2 to the power of 2 times x is 4. So 2 to the power of 4 plus 32 is equal to 12 times 2 to the power of 2, which is 2 square, right? 2 to the power of 4 is 16 plus 32. Is that equal to 12 times 4? Because 2 square is 4, right? 16 plus 32 is 48. Is that equal to 12 times 4 is 48? So 48 is equal to 48. So that solves for itself. So that means x equals 2 is the correct solution. So let's check quickly for x equals 3 as well. So let's substitute x is equal to 3 in that main equation. So let's go back. 2 to the power of 2 times x, which is 2 times 3 is 6, right? So 2 to the power of 6 plus 32 equals to 12 times 2 to the power of 3, 2 cube, right? So 2 to the power of 6 is 64. So 64 plus 32, is that equal to 12 times 2 cube is 8. So 64 plus 32 is 96. Is that equal to 12 times 8, which is 96? So yeah, 96 is equal to 96. So that also solves for itself. So x equals 2 as well as x equals 3. Both solution are correct solution. So hope you like this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel for more videos. Easy, isn't it? So I hope you like this kind of videos, and if you like this kind of video, if you learn something from these videos, please don't forget to subscribe.